It is Teresa from Teresa's Art for Art, um, where I love sharing art from my heart and teaching you how to create a little joy in your life through some simple and fun art projects. We are going to turn this into this. Are you ready? Okay. So I have my line drawing all traced out. Let me put my original up there so I can look at it for reference. And we will get started. I have out some black, brown, light brown or tan, and some orange paint. This is Canyon Orange. You can use any orange that you want. This kit is available. My link was in the bio. And I'm going to get started painting. I have about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch wide flat brush. And I will get started. I just want to see if there's coming up. I have to watch for any comments. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start with the black. And I'm just going to do these outside 2 sections. I like to, before I even get started, decide where my black is going to be. So I'm using my pinky and I'm pulling down. Okay? And I'm just trying to decide or figure out where my black is going to be. And this way, when I mark it out, I know where I have to stay within the lines. Is it going to be perfect? No. Am I going to mess up? Probably. But it helps. When I trace or outline first, it helps draw my eye to where I need to start adding the color and color block. Now, this part of the painting should go pretty quick. I want to be fairly careful in my sections, but it doesn't have to be perfect. See, I already got some on my broom handle. That's totally okay, because when we go back and paint our broom handle, it'll cover up any mistakes that we have. Sometimes I like to wrap the color that I'm painting on the front around the side of the canvas. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just leave the canvas. Sometimes I paint the edges of the canvas something totally, totally different. And then sometimes I'm doing like today where I wrap it around. Totally up to you. I don't care what the tops of my brooms look like, because when I go back in and add in the details for my brooms later, that's when you're going to see how the broom shape takes over the black, and it's okay. So right now I'm just doing the black background. Let me turn this around. Hey all, thanks for hopping on. And get started now on this side. Again, the link is in my bio for these kits. They are available in 2 different kits. There is a 9x12 pre-trace canvas, or there is a 9x12 pre-etched wooden board that's all ready to go. It's pre-etched. The design is already on there for you. And all you have to do is follow the video, follow the instructions, and paint it in how you want. Now, if you wanted to give your witch different color hair or a different color dress, that is totally up to you. I like the purple and the blonde, and if you purchase the kit, those are the colors you would get with it. But there's no reason why you can't then change it up and make it any colors that you want. Again, I'm just going up here on the edge, and I'm doing the edges to wrap around so they're the same color as the sides. And I don't care, again, about the top of my broom here, because when I go in and add in all the different colors for the tops of my broom, that's what matters. Right now, I'm just getting in the base coating, and I'm not really worrying about it too much. Okay. Oh, got to do the bottom of this one. So I did the 2 black sections. And you can even mix these up if you want to do one black section and two orange sections. It's totally up to you. This is the look we are going for, but it's your art. You can paint it any way. Okay. All right. You might wash a little brush and a little rinse and a little dry. Let me see. And we will get to commenting. Hello, 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 everyone. How are you guys? Back down. Okay. All right, I'm going to do this section here in now this tan color. Again, I'm going to mark off the area that's going to have this color. I'm going to go in and out the little details here of the dress. Just remember, if you change up the panels that you want black and brown, you're not going to want this panel black, or you really won't see your cat. So just be aware of that. You can do this one orange if you want. I'm not really worrying too much about going over the details of the cat's tail or the boots, because when we come back with our black, we'll be able to fix all of that. I might even just paint right over its tail. Okay. Now I want to bring a line down here. So again, I'm marking off what's going to be the tan and what's going to be the black. And I don't mind that I picked up a little bit of black. We're going to make this look like a faux grain, a faux wood grain in the background anyway. So it's okay if you picked up a little bit of black. I'm going to add a little black, brown to this background anyway. So it's okay if I pick up a little bit of black paint when I drew my line into my outline there. I just try and be as neat as possible. Okay. Get this all filled in. I want all these brush strokes. Sometimes I have to fill in little nooks and crannies, but once I'm done getting the paint where I need it to be, I want the brush strokes on these panels to all be vertical. The same with black, this tan, and when I get to the orange. I want them to all be vertical. So while that is still a little wet, I'm going to pick up a little bit of brown, and I'm going to start getting in a little bit of brown because I want it to blend in. I'm going to come back and brown later again, but I want some of it to not be as harsh, and this way it's blending in, and I'm just adding in, while my tan is wet, a little bit brown to make like my faux wood background. Okay. And then while I have the brown on my brush, I'm going to come and I'm going to do this piece of lumber that goes across the top that's holding the brooms. It's okay if you get a little on your brooms, because we will fix all that when we paint in our broom handles. Oops. This is probably going to need 2 coats of brown. Again, I would wrap it on the side of my canvas. Okay. And we'll just leave that for now. Oh, missed this part down here. I didn't even wash my brush. I went right into the tan. It'll be a little darker down here. That's okay. Okay. And then back into the dark, we want to paint this stick here that the two of them are standing on, our witch and our black cat. Okay. I'm going to wash the brush. Oh, there we go. Okay, and last but not least, I'm going to do the orange section. This kit comes with everything you need to paint your whole entire project. It comes with either a pre-traced or a pre-traced canvas or a pre-etched wood panel. Comes with 2 paint brushes and then all the paint and a link to this video so you don't have to be scrounging around trying to find it again on my YouTube. The beauty of having a link to the video is you can do it more than once. You can go back to it and take a break. And then you don't have to worry about downloading the video. It stays on my YouTube unlisted. And you don't have to worry about downloading the or public, it depends. You don't have to worry about downloading it in space on your device or your computer or your phone or whatever it is that you're using. So I can switch to a smaller brush in here. And I need a little bit of black in there, or I can just use the corner of the brush like I'm doing. Like I said, I don't want to be imperfect right now. You can fix anything if you're patient and you let your paint dry. And when we go back after I do all this blocking in with the paint, we'll be able to fix any of the little mistakes that I may have made or when I was out of line or whatever. So this is just the beginning. I'm going to move rather quickly on this part because when we get to the details, that's when it's all going to come together, and that's when you want to work a little bit more carefully and then actually worry more about your brush strokes. I'm going to get in here around her. Another little trick of mine. It's really hard to do faces, y'all. So if you see my art and my designs usually don't have a face. Okay? Because it's a little difficult. I'm just going to grab my little liner brush because I forgot that little crook of black there. And I just want to fill in this little section here. There and there. And that's it, right? Right. Okay. I'm going to get my liner brush. And I'm going to go back. I need some white. And I'm going to add a little bit of detail to the backs of my boards here, giving them a little bit of faux wood grain look. Pick up some brown. I didn't even wash my brush. Again, up here now that my tan is dry, my brown is going to pop. So I can add a little bit more of that. Wash my brush. I want to do the same thing. I want to add a little bit of white to my orange panel. Not too much. A little bit of white to my tan panel. And then I think I'm going to add a little bit of orange also to the tan and the black. Not too much. Just a few here and there. I like incorporating the colors from the rest of the design into my artwork. Okay. I'm going to pick up my brown now, and we're going to come back in here and do a second coat on this piece of wood here. Brown is one of those weird colors. Brown sometimes, always yellow and orange and red. Very, very translucent. Don't know why, but very translucent. More often than not, browns, oranges, yellows, and reds will need 2 coats. It doesn't even matter the brand of paint. So now I have my round brush. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to paint in my whole entire broom handle. I picked up some of the black, and that's okay. We'll do the same thing here. Add some pressure and pull it all the way up to the head of the broom. And get that nice and filled in. Okay, and then the same thing here on the last one. If your broom handle gets too fat, too wonky, you think it looks crazy, just go back in with some black and fix it. Get some black to right along the edges, or in this case, the tan, and you can fix it right up. Okay. Okay, and wash that brush. And I'm going to get out this really soft yellow here, this yellow ochre. Hey, hey! So I'm going to just now start base coating in all of my broom heads, I guess, not handles, broom heads. And this is why I said it didn't matter with the black up top, because we're going to add quite a few colors to this. I'm going right over the black with this yellow. The only one that wants to keep it cheap is this one here. I'm going to be a little bit careful with the outside edges of this one, but that's it, just the outside edges. And then I'm just going to roughly pull in and fill in. Okay. And then again here, I'm pulling in all the pieces of the top of my brush. And I'm going to let this dry a little bit. Okay, and the same thing down here. Okay. I'm going to go back in with the yellow. And again, if you want to paint your witch's hair a different color, be my guest. You can make her a brunette. You can make her a ginger. You can give her purple hair. Your art, your way, totally fine. And right now I'm just base coating in the beginning of what was going to be her hair. And that's it. Oh, I see a little spot of orange where I missed again. Oh, no, that's the arm. Never mind. That's the arm. It's a bear dress. Okay. So, looking good so far. Let me check this. What do we got here? Not too much. All right. Okay. All good. And a little drink. And then I think I'm going to go back up here. I think I'm going to do the hat and the cat. So I'm using this round brush now. And you might say the hat is all black. Why am I jumping over? I'm jumping over because I want the brush strokes on the brim of my hat to go horizontal. And then I want to make the brush strokes up here on the top of my hat vertical. And although it's still all one color, you can kind of see the difference when you change it up. Okay. And I'm just going to come in here with this, curl it around, and bring it in. Okay. Clean that up a little bit. There. The same thing. I'm going to try this brush in my shoes. It might not work, but we'll see. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on this. If you're not using a liner brush, you want to put very light pressure on this brush so your lines are not too fat. Again, curl it around and just fill in our little booties here. And I'm going to fill in my kitty. Let's see, can I see the tail? Not really. I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to curl. I'm going to apply a little bit more pressure and come around. So we got a curl on our tail, got our boots done, and we got the rest of her base. I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to get out some of this River Fun Purple Pizzazz from Decor. Fun color. Put out a little bit of that. Go back to my round brush. You can use a flat brush for this too, whatever brush you're more comfortable with. And I'm going to start doing in her little sassy hands on the hips, arms, right? And then her dress. And I'm going to do the dress in layers. Her skirt's in layers. I'm going to do the dress in layers. Again, I want my brush strokes to all go vertical. And I'm going to do one layer at a time. And this is just the first coat. This dress will need 2 coats. This purple's a little translucent too. And when I do the second coat, I'm going to work my way up so it overlaps in an upward motion. I'll show you what I mean. I can start now. See, I want my bottom layer to overlap my second layer. I want the bottom of my skirt to be a little uneven. I'm applying a little bit of pressure at the bottom of my stroke. and then pulling up. So we have a little fatter at the bottom, but also a little uneven. It's like a flouncy pleated skirt. Okay. And I'm using this round brush. If you're using a flat brush, you want to use it on the chisel edge like this, because you want to be able to see the layers of the skirt. So again, now I'm going into this layer and I'm pulling up there, almost like if you ever painted a Christmas tree with me, it's almost like how I paint a Christmas tree. Little short strokes, one on top of the other, as you work your way up. And again in here. I'm going to give it a second coat on my arms. And then I want to do a little skinny legs. These are tight, so we're going to put a little design on them. You could leave them white and just paint in purple lines. You can paint them purple, you can paint them black. Mine are going to have stripes, and I'm going to paint them purple first. Okay, so we have now pretty much base coated in everything that we need to base coat in, and now I'm going to move on to my liner brush. Just getting a little comfy here. Okay, give it a dry. I'm going to turn my art upside down. I'm going to get a little bit more brown, and I'm going to start working on my broomsticks or my broom heads, broom handles, whatever. I get some of this brown, and I'm going to start pulling long strokes of hay out and away from the broom handle, and adding lots of color and texture to these brooms. Do it on the bottom too. Again, out and away from the middle. Same thing over here, except this one I want to keep it more controlled. I don't want it shooting out the sides. I just want it shooting up the top here. So I need to be a little bit more careful around the edges, but I'm still just really pulling out. You don't want to completely cover up the yellow, but you do want to have a nice amount of brown for now. Some of my yellow isn't dry. And again here, we want the top of this one to be a little bit more crazy. And just light pressure, pull down here, light pressure, and pulling the hay through the yellow. You still want to be able to see the yellow. Little tiny light pressure strokes. I'm not using my pointer. My pointer's hanging out. Over there. Okay, maybe I have a few more browns in here. Okay, wash my brush. And I'm going to let those dry a little bit. I'm going to pick up some white, and I'm going to come in and I'm just going to start doing a little highlighting around my hat. Okay. Brown. I'm going to add a little bit of highlight on this wood plank that's going across the wall. Do a little bit of highlight on my broomsticks. Do a little highlight on my cat. Again, on this piece of wood that they're standing on. Same thing with the shoes. And the brush. I'm going to go back to the original color of the hair, and I want to just add in some texture. It's the same color as the hair, but I can see now that I'm adding in these different strokes of color, some highlights, some lowlights. I'm going to use the brush on the narrow end, and I'm just going to add in these little flicks in here. Pick up some white. I'm going to do the same thing with the white. And you want the brush strokes to follow the shape of her hair. And my brush got a little dirty, so I'm going to put it back in the water. I'm going to rinse it off. And I come back. Okay, I'm going to grab brown, and I'm going to add the hardware and the straps to all of my brooms. Okay, so that's where the broom has its holder on this piece of wood, and I just added them to it. I'm going to flip it around again. Now I don't want to add too much black, but I'm going to pick up some black. I'm going to add just a few black low lights into my brooms. Not too many. Black paint can be very overbearing. And even this is a Halloween painting, I don't want it to be so dark. Brush my brush. Yes, she is, right? She's really starting to come to life. You start adding all these details, and she really starts to come to life. The beginning is all about just color blocking and base coating. You want to be neat, but you don't want to be, you don't, not that you don't want to be, you don't have to be perfect. With paint, you can fix anything. So it's just a matter of getting the colors down where you need them to go and then working from there. Now my black and my orange, they're kind of blending together. If I wanted, I can be patient. I can let this dry a little bit, but it's not necessary. I am going to let it dry a little bit now. And I'm going to go back to working on my skirt because I want all these colors in the broom to dry. So then I can add some nice fresh white. And then you'll see the beautiful highlights will just pop. Okay. So I'm going to wash my brush again. Give a rinse. And go back to my white. Now we want our white to follow the shape of the skirt. Okay, so we have some pleats in here. They go on an angle. I didn't trace in all the details, but you can. And I'm just going in I'm adding in some heat tags on the bottom, and this is just showing the different layers and ruffles of her dress. Okay? And the same thing with the very last one. When I come down to the bottom, I want to follow the bottom edge. Okay? Put a couple little highlights up in here on her sassy little arms. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did with the white with a little bit of black, except not as much. So in a couple of the areas, not as many as the areas, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add a little bit of black. Well, I have black. I'm going to come in and I'm going to add some stripes to our tights. When you do your stripes on the tights, you want the stripes to have a little bit of curve to them. You don't want them to just go blip right across. You want to have a little bit of arc. Okay. Wash my brush. Pick up some white and then go back and do the same thing with the white. One of these brooms, I think I'm going to make one of these brooms have a little design to it too. And here I'm just doing parallel diagonal lines up the broom handle. And wash it. And rinse it. And you can do as much detail with this as you want. Does it have to look just like mine? Nope. This one I'm painting doesn't look exactly like the first one I painted. It's really kind of impossible to make all your art look the same. I can add details to the others if I want. I'm going to put a little bit of highlight on each of these straps. Then I'm going to turn it over while I'm putting the white. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to add some nice fresh white to all my brooms. Okay, now that just makes the total broom just like pop. If I wanted to, or I had more patience, I could wait for this to dry. But clearly I'm not. So I'm just coming in here. And that is that. So, what do you guys think? So, that is it for today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching me. Again, I'm Tracy. You can grab this kit on my website. It comes with a pre-traced canvas or a pre-etched wood panel. Have a great day, everyone.